All right, I'm here with Rodion Telpizov, the founder of Smart Job Board, one of my favorite job board platforms out there. And he's joining me today from overseas. Where in the world are you again, Rodion?
Oh, it's pretty far from US in Central Asia. So yeah, it's night here now, but it's usual time for me to have calls. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, it's good to see you again. We met a couple years ago at a TA Tech, I think, and
Yes,
have
in
exchanged
Chicago.
countless emails over the course of many years. But it's good to see you again, and as we head into a new year. So, um, I guess first of all, what's new with Smart Job Board these days? Give us a kind of a quick update on the product, if you could.
Yeah, so Smart Job Board is evolving as a job board platform. We are doing new updates pretty regularly. Uh, yeah, we're trying to have more customers. Um, so I would say we are trying to to be more useful for people who already have a job board and who would like to migrate for older technologies, because we see that a lot of people who use older um, you know custom build job boards are not
Migrations.
very happy, yeah, with that. So we are trying to help them with migrations, and maybe adding some features which will be useful for them. Yep.
Gotcha. What are some of the frequently asked questions you get a lot from potential new job board owners and new customers?
Well, where to get job seeker traffic, I guess, for free.
Yeah, well, there's only a few ways to do that. And you
Yeah.
guys are integrated with Google for Jobs. By the way, do you see? I wrote a post recently about Google for Jobs. I don't know if you saw that or not. Um, Talking about how the traffic from there is kind of flattened a bit overall. I don't know if have you seen that trend at all, or what's your take on Google for Jobs right now?
Yeah, what I see that it's not constant, and it looks like they do different kind of changes and they logic and they algorithms, and so sometimes it drops. So and you can see this drop on almost any job board, on any niche, and sometimes it starts growing. So recently, yeah, I've seen there was a drop several months ago, and then it's like flattened. Uh,
By the way, I got
but
an email from one of my job board customers that forwarded me, and Google had sent them an email from the Search Console saying, "Hey, we'd like you to push your jobs to us through the Google for Jobs API rather than the feed." Any plans
yeah,
to kind of integrate the Smart Job Board platform itself into the API of Google for Jobs?
well, it's something we are looking at, and it's not might be that easy from the technical part, but we will take a look at this and see if it would make sense for job boards to use API instead of standard indexing.
Yeah. Okay. And give us a sense of how big Smart Job Board is right now. How many customers you have across the globe? Do you think?
About 400.
400. Okay. Um, and you're no longer selling the license, right? It's entirely a cloud platform these days.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean the 400 that are using our you know
Yeah.
cloud platform.
Yeah. I ran into a client the other day that had bought the license some years ago. Um, all right.
Yeah, well, there are some people who still use the license.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
I keep pushing them to go to the cloud. I'm like, you're just need the new features and things like that. So, but they like that. They like that control. They want to control their own platform themselves. But anyway, all right. So let's see here. What do you think the state of job boards is right now, in your view, as we enter a new year here? Job boards are 20 plus years old. how do you kind of view the future of them, if you will?
You mean overall?
Yeah, just
Uh,
on a high level.
well, I would say there are new industries emerging. There are new niches emerging, and of course, there is always a job board who's trying to leverage this niche, this new industry. And I also see that a lot of companies who have some kind of communities, like for example, different kind of startup accelerators, or people who do different kind of education, like courses, and have alumni, and have companies who participate. They also trying to use job boards to support their
Yeah, as an
communities.
add-on. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So I would say that I can see that people use job boards in different kind of ways, not only to make money, but also to support communities, to support their member in some kind of memberships. Uh, and I would say that there are more and more ways for job boards to be used right now. Uh, and I would say that uh, it's it's well, I think it will grow from the job board perspective. Then I think more and more job boards will evolve, because like people, like to be associated with different communities, and use tools that these communities provide.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have a group of like-minded people on a certain, industry or topic, a job board makes sense in a lot of cases, and I think you're correct there overall. Um, so, I love the flexibility of Smart Job Board. I think it's probably the most flexible platform out there, in my opinion, overall. Um, what new enhancements might you be working on? Could you give us maybe a sneak peek or a preview of what's to come in the next few months or next year?
Yeah, sure. Uh, so one of the things we are working on is a new theme.
New theme?
So yeah, and new design for. I would say it's a new concept for job boards we are working on, and we hope it will be useful for people. Uh,
A new
yeah,
concept. That's intriguing.
yes. So I will keep it as a secret and will not reveal any details
Okay.
details for now. So hopefully,
Well, we'll be the first to know
uh,
over job board secrets, won't we?
yeah, yeah. Hopefully, it's will be something that our customers and their customers will like. Uh, so,
And when can we expect
and that,
the news on that?
sorry, what about that?
When can we expect to hear about that?
Uh, well, hopefully, couple of months, but usually, the designing and implementing a new theme takes a lot of time. Yeah, but couple of months, maybe 3 months, something like that.
Okay. Um, so let me run some ideas by you. I had some ideas for future enhancements. If you want to hear them, you
Yeah,
can
sure.
take these for what you
Yeah.
will. But kind of give you my thoughts on things. So, um, I think the marketing of a job board is so important these days. Overall, I think that's the one thing I really stress with my clients is you have to know internet marketing very well. Um, and I would love to see something like an activity stream, like a feed, where basically I could push that feed to social media to show the activity happening on the job board. John just applied for this job, or so and so created an account, or so and so posted a resume, or this company just joined and created a profile. I think that would be an interesting data set to kind of use in terms of social media to show the activity happening on there. And even on the site itself, maybe you could show a little activity feed of what's happening on the site overall. It would be interesting, I think. So what are your thoughts on an idea like that?
Well, it's certainly something new because I never heard idea like that. Yeah. So yeah, well, why not? It can be something uh, people might like. Uh,
Just to show
yeah,
show how the active, how alive the job board is, right?
yeah, yeah. I understand. So
It helps give
just to
people
have a feeling, yeah, just to have a feeling of that something is going on there.
yep. How about things like messaging candidates for employers? Creating a little messaging system in there.
Well, for example, in Smart Job Board, there is a messaging feature which just would send an email to job seeker from employer. But I guess what you are talking here is something like
A
a chat.
platform, yeah,
Uh,
a chat, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
yeah. Well, to be honest, we had something like that in our old platform,
Oh yeah.
which was uh, sold as a license, but we haven't seen actually that it was popular and that people usually used it.
Hmm.
And so we actually deleted this feature after all.
Hmm. Well, I'll give
So
you so just on that note, there's a new platform provider out there which I won't mention, but they have that feature, and I think it makes
mhm,
them a little bit unique as far as that goes. And I have a client who actually went to them because of that. So something you might want to think about as far as a future enhancement overall. Because I do think that job boards have to evolve here a bit beyond just a place to go and post a job or post a resume and apply. I do think job boards need to become much more of a community, a place to go, a reason to stay on the site. And I think employers, like the fact that they could actually chat with a potential candidate on the site itself overall. So, I do think it's part of the evolution of what we're seeing online these days overall. But anyway, um, let's see here. Texting. Any plans to integrate some kind of texting features, whether it's like job alerts, um, communication, things like that, into uh, the platform overall? Texting is such a powerful communication tool. The open rates versus email are just 4 or 5 times what email provides, and I think texting for a job board could be an excellent way to drive more traffic back to it. So, what are your thoughts on that?
yeah, I would agree with you here because like not everyone has an email now. So like younger population just use phones, but I don't know if all the uh, students and kids have email right now. So it certainly makes sense to use texting instead because, well, everyone has a phone. We've been discussing these with our team. So so far we don't have specific plans to add something like this, but it's certainly something we will look at and maybe first add something like website or web notifications, where I
Push
guess,
notifications.
yeah,
Yep.
it's uh,
Yeah, those are good too. Those are good too as well for as another channel the job board can use to try traffic back. So yeah.
yeah, and then there are different kind of avenues job boards can leverage here. So it's texting, it's chatbots, so it's push notifications or web notifications, and yes, I think it's something the job board industry should look at.
Definitely cool. Um, how about things like matching? Matching is kind of in the news a lot lately. I do see a lot of startups around matching candidates to a particular job posting. Have you thought about that at all? As far as some kind of, when you company posts a job, they see a list of maybe candidates in the resume database that match that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of about matching from people, and especially about AI in matching, things like that. But to be honest, I never seen that working on a job board like successfully,
Hmm.
where like I would say where employers would choose this some specific job board because of the matching mechanisms they provide. So like it may sound like a good idea, but I'm not sure that there is a technology that would serve it really well,
Yeah.
that can be used in this particular time.
Yep. Okay. I think gigs are really hot over here in the U.S. Freelance work. I kind of think that gigs are the new niche, if you will. And I've always thought there could be a good opportunity for a job or software company to create some kind of Upwork-like clone platform where instead of a typical job board, it's more like an Upwork site. What are your thoughts around the whole gig economy?
Well, it's certainly growing in US and all over the world, and it's huge. Uh, but regarding your question of having a platform for this, so if you look at all this platform like Upwork and Fiverr, so it's pretty much complicated and custom built platforms. So like I'm not sure that it can be provided as a separate cloud-based platform which anyone can use, because any
Well,
specific.
it's a typical, I mean, if you look at an Upwork, it's very similar to a job board. In fact, I even see Upwork listings in Google for Jobs results. So they post a project versus a job, which is kind of the same thing. They have candidates and employers on both sides of that. On the candidate side, you can rate that person. You can see their earnings. They have through the platform. You can message them, of course. You can, and then the platform takes a fee of the actual project cost. So there is more, work around that. But I don't know. I do think that there is an opportunity there for white labeled Upwork like clones, if you will. Just following that sort of typical business model overall. So just a thought. I mean, I'll throw it out there for anybody, but I do think there's opportunity there.
Well, yes, certainly there is an opportunity there. Yeah, it's just a bit more complicated than job boards,
Yeah.
because they charge for for the projects, and they do all the revenue share for the freelancer and themselves, and they also may do the time tracking and do the screenshots from the freelancer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty complicated.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. It's a little
if
more
you use
involved
it
than a
inside.
typical board.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotcha. All right. Any other, what are your thoughts on monetization? I mean, there's lots of ways to make money with job boards. You got, and on Smart Job Board, you've got backfill, you've got AdSense blocks, you've got postings, of course. You introduce the recurring model as well onto the platform. You can even have candidates purchase feature their resumes for price as well. Any other thoughts around maybe some additional monetization ways you might be introducing, or thoughts around that?
Well, from our experience, the job posting is still the most popular way of monetization. And I would say for small niche job boards, most likely it's gonna be the same for a pretty long time. For larger job boards, of course, there is a lot of talking about uh, paper click, pay per apply. So I think that can be another model that could work. But again, you should have an employer with maybe hundreds or thousands of jobs
Yeah, you need high
to
volume to make
implement.
that work.
yes, to implement that model. So I
Nice.
would say this is something that can be used and can be, can bring maybe some additional revenue for job boards.
Nice. All right. Um, you've been around the industry for a long time, Rodion. What are some of the core pieces of advice you always give job board owners as far as how to be successful?
Well, don't give up, be persistent,
There we go.
and yeah, try different things. So, like, first of all, I think all the new job boarders should understand that it's not, so the concept of build it and they will come is not working. So you should invest a lot of time and a lot of money to make your job board successful. And if you don't have a lot of time and if you don't have enough money, uh, I think it doesn't worth trying. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, because I see that a lot of people start a job board and maybe after several months, it appears that they just don't have, well, in most cases, they don't have enough time to support it.
Hmm.
And then they just shut it down. So, yeah, so it's,
Yeah, they give up a lot. Yeah, that happens a lot. That's why I tell them you gotta have the time. You gotta put in the time. It's a grind. It does take time, so you got to give it a long term horizon, and you got to be good at marketing it. Right? It's not gonna you can just launch it and expect
yes,
people to come. Those days are long gone. You have to go out there and
yeah,
make a name for yourself.
yeah, yeah. I will also add, uh, so choose your niche, well, wisely,
Wisely.
and I would say you should be an expert in some specific niche to to make a successful job board. So if you don't have any experience or expertise in some specific niche, it worth spend time on this first and become an expert in this niche. And second, so I would say a lot of people undervaluate the content. Uh, I mean, content beyond the jobs that you should have on your job board. Because again, niche job board, it's all about this niche, this community of people who are working, this community of professionals who are working in this niche. And so if you only provide jobs, well, they can go any other job board. They can go to Indeed, to ZipRecruiter, and look for a job there. But if you provide something else, uh, like some specific information for this specific industry, for this specific professionals, they will come, they will stay, they will share this content, and they will bring more users. And that what can make your job board different from everyone else.
Well, well said. I appreciate the advice. I guess we'll close it up there, and I'll wish you and the Smart Job Board team a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2020.
Yeah, see you too, Chris, and
You coming to
Merry
the U.S. at
Christmas.
all?
And well, I'm planning visiting the JobGate conference in San Diego, I guess, but it's going to be in summer.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I'll make it there too, so we can catch up.
Wow, it's going to be cool.
Awesome. Well, Rodion Telpizov from Smart Job Board. Thanks for joining me today, and thanks for the information.
Thanks for having me, Chris, and see you.
All righty.